Coming up next, my top 5 favorite alcohol perfumes. Alcohol, I mean boozy. Boozy perfumes. What I've done is I'm gonna pick one specific type of alcohol like rum, vodka, bourbon, and pick my favorite one of each of those categories for 5 of them. Coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to JoelTheNose, and today's video, my top 5 favorite boozy perfumes. I've picked, again, what I'm gonna do is, I've got 5 here representing the 5 food groups, the 5 alcohol groups. We got, actually, well, we've got champagne, we've got rum, we've got vodka, we've got bourbon, and we got Scotch. So we've got a wide variety. We got a different, I think, type of alcoholic drink for everybody here. So having said that, let's get right into this and start with, I would say, you know, the easiest version, or the one that almost everybody loves as far as if you drink alcohol, and that is champagne. This is truly a unique fragrance if you've never smelled it. And it is Dom Rosa. Dom Rosa right here. This is one I've talked about a little bit before. And what it's unique about this one is it kind of comes in this like almost, it looks almost like a champagne bottle. You look at the color, it's kind of pink, and you see the writing on there. The calligraphy, the style that they, of typeface they use on their bottles is really interesting. It almost looks like it's like from Roman times or Greek times or something. It's pretty cool. So this is a really just fresh, bright, kind of get the party started type fragrance. This is one I could see wearing out, you know, to say a night on the town where you're gonna be dancing. It's gonna be a little more lively, and it's fun, it's energetic, like I said, and it smells like champagne. I mean, that champagne note is unmistakable. When you smell it, you'll know. And I don't think I've ever smelled another fragrance that has a champagne note, so very cool. Next, we're gonna go and we're gonna start going to the harder liquors, the harder alcohol. And brand new, actually. So this one, for those of you who've seen me talk about it a few weeks ago, it just got released recently from Serjoff, and this is Tony Iommi. This is the collaboration with the legendary guitarist from Black Sabbath, one of the greatest guitarists of all time, heavy metal legend, for those of you who like music and rock and roll especially. He did such a cool collaboration. This is not one of those collabs where they just, you know, they go to somebody famous and say, hey, can we borrow your name and just make something? I mean, clearly this is just the whole bottle, the design. You can tell he was heavily involved in it. It even has, you know, kind of the black, very metal appearance, and that really sets it apart. But what also sets it apart is it is just a great fragrance. And it's a great rum fragrance. So that rum is in there, gives it a little bit of a sweetness, a little ambery sweetness, great sprayer. And again, this just came out, but it's really popular already. I see people come in here to Osme and it just kind of flies off the shelves. People seem to be really digging this fragrance. I'll talk about it in more detail later when I do a full review on it. But right now, this is my favorite rum fragrance. All right, now we're gonna move on down the line to vodka. And I'm glad because I was thinking one of the other fragrances from this house for one of the other maybe bourbon or kind of, you know, Scotch type fragrances, and I remembered Alexander. Alexander from Arquise has my favorite vodka note or vodka accord that I've ever smelled in fragrance making. And I haven't smelled that many, but when they, let's do this. It's amazing. First of all, the juice, when you look at it, you know, it's not like super dark, but it is pretty dark. You know, it looks like it's gonna be more ambery, of a kind of rich amber type smell or feel. It's not. It feels and smells more like a clear liquid like vodka. So if you love vodka, a lot of people do, right? You want to mix it up. and you want to try something different from the typical boozy fragrances, I really recommend trying Alexander from, again, Arquiste. Take one last look at it there. And it's still, that smell is just like overpowering me right now. This house, if you don't know Arquiste, you guys, I've talked about a lot. Elle is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It's like, I call it dirty barbershop fougere. It's like a sexy animalic barbershop fougere. You've got Non-Bon, which is one of the more boozy, just sexy, masculine fragrances in my opinion, but great stuff. All right, now we're going to the almost last. Let me pick this up so I don't make a mess in here. All right, there. This is from Ramon Manigal, Mon Patchouli. So you guys see it there, Mon Patchouli. And what note is this? See if anyone can guess it in the comments below before I say it. I'm gonna smell. Oh boy. This is, first of all, obviously one of the great patchouli fragrances that I've ever smelled. It would be in anyone's top 10 or top 5 list of patchouli fragrances. But what sets it apart for me is the bourbon note. So it has a bourbon accord in here that just, if you like bourbon, if you like that good old Kentucky bourbon, maybe you're a Jack Daniel's fan, whatever you drink, whatever your drink of choice is, if you are a bourbon fan, this is a fragrance you have to have on your radar, especially if you like patchouli. Also, it's gonna be a double whammy for you. So try it out from Ramon Manigal. Again, Mon Patchouli, awesome bourbon fragrance. Last but certainly not least, and this is one where the note is not actually listed, but for anyone who's ever smelled it, and I talked to Maurice about this, I probably arguably the best or most well-known or classic boozy Scotch fragrance of all time. And that is, without further ado, from the House of Nasamato, this is Baranda. Baranda. Take a look at that beauty. It's got that cork top. This is a 30 ml extrait. A little under $200, roughly 185, somewhere in that range, but it is, you know, it's a smaller bottle, but it's an extrait, so you're not gonna need as much when you're spraying it on. But great description of this. It smells like a 21-year-old bottle of Scotch. If you are a Scotch drinker, I mentioned obviously bourbon drinkers. I mean, when you just put your nose up to this, it smells like you're sitting in front of a beautiful wood-lined bar in, I don't know, let's just say you're in Manhattan and you're in this classic bar, maybe a hotel bar of a luxury hotel, and you're sitting at the end of the bar, and right in front of you is a perfect little sifter glass of a fine, exquisite Scotch. Neat. Nothing in it, nothing to disturb it, just pure, unadulterated Scotch. This is the closest replica to something like that I've ever smelled, seen, or worn. If you don't know Baranda, you have to try it, especially if you are a boozy or Scotch in particular fan, especially boozy fragrances. Boozy fragrances, I think, is one of the more popular categories. I get a lot of requests on the channel for people to for me to do more reviews about boozy fragrances. So I'll pick some other ones because, you know, these, again, there's so many great ones out there. This is just 5 that are my favorites right now. But that list, as you know, is always changing depending on how I feel. All right, I'll be back soon with another video, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and perfumes.